Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion for the Xbox 360 is the sequel to the Smash PC hit Morrowind, and continues Bethesda Softworks' tradition of incredibly open-ended and immersive gameplay.
Get moving! We can't do a thing until you get those gates open!
With groundbreaking graphics, AI, and a living, breathing world, it's hard to let the few issues Oblivion does have get in the way of such an incredible gaming experience.
All hail the Blade Master! Help! Murder!
You start the game as a prisoner for unknown crimes, but are quickly swept into a quest to save the Empire.
He can help us. He must help us.
The king, voiced by Patrick Stewart, has foreseen his own death and knows that without an emperor to light the sacred dragon fires, the shields holding Oblivion's demons from entering the world will fail.
We must recover the Amulet of Kings and relight the dragon fires.
Your primary quest to find and enthrone the Emperor's long-lost illegitimate heir, voiced by Sean Bean, is well thought out and carries you through about 40 hours of gameplay, but that's hardly the bulk of the story. There are hundreds of other missions that you can get from guilds, townsfolk, and by wandering the countryside, they're all just as well written, varied, and intriguing. The first thing you'll notice about Oblivion is the stunning visuals. Every dungeon, town, grassy hill, body of water, demon, skeleton, sword, and spell look absolutely fantastic. The characters are well animated in combat, but their faces and expressions could use some work.
Oh, you poor dear.
You talk to every character individually, and they all look at you directly the entire time.
What is it, citizen?
These interactions feel kind of stiff after a while, as everyone looks generally the same whether they're happy or sad or angry or afraid.
What nonsense.
But there are a few hundred unique personalities living in the game, each with a life of their own and things to do. People in towns don't just stand around. They'll go to work, do their jobs, eat food, and sleep at night. As dark as it can get at night or in dungeons, you'll need to take torches with you or use magic to enhance your vision. Through the character AI and incredibly well-designed landscapes, you'll often feel like Tamriel is a real place. Unfortunately, the more real it is, the more jarring it feels when you're taken out of it by loading screens or frame rate issues. Inside buildings and dungeons, you'll rarely encounter any pauses or glitches, but while roaming the countryside, especially on a horse, you'll frequently see slowdown, pop-ups, or a brief load. That said, you don't actually need to traverse the countryside that much. There's a fast travel option that lets you zoom to any major city or location you visited before. But the people that are more into the role-playing aspect of the game might want to go looking for hidden caves and treasure. These are the ones that will get punished for actually traveling from town to town by the constant performance issues. The game defaults to first person, but you have the option to switch to a third-person perspective as well. Third person works if you want to get a wider view of your surroundings, or a picturesque angle while riding horseback, but the game was clearly designed with first person in mind. Anyone looking to play Oblivion entirely in third person is not going to find it nearly as fluid as other RPGs like Final Fantasy and Fable.
Then pay with your blood!
The best thing Oblivion has going for it is that it allows you to do pretty much anything you want, and everything you can do is implemented well. If you're a thief, there's great mechanics for lockpicking, pickpocketing, and sneaking around. If you're a mage, there's a very robust magic system with alchemy, conjurations, custom spells, and weapon enchanting. If you're a fighter, the melee combat has been upgraded considerably to include special moves, and is a lot more fun than Oblivion's predecessor, Morrowind. You can also mix and match each of the major skill sets at will and create a character that plays just like you want. If you prefer an axe-wielding mage orc that's good at marksmanship, you can build one.
Yeah, I don't care who you are.
The amount of options when creating a character and playing the game is daunting, but there are preset character classes to use and an exceptional quest log should you get lost or go a while without playing and need a quick refresher on the quests you've taken and completed. The inventory and spell management menus are serviceable, but could have been more friendly. One major issue, however, is the 8 D-pad quick slots. The vertical and horizontal quick items are easy to access, but the diagonal ones can be difficult to select. And in the heat of battle, you'll find yourself scrambling if you haven't laid out your slots well.
For Lord Dagon!
And anyone new to the Elder Scrolls series that favors party-based role-playing combat should know that Oblivion is strictly single-player. This is still an incredible feat on its own, but those used to Xbox Live and multiple character command RPGs might get a little lonely when they realize they'll be going solo.
You alone must stand against the Prince of Destruction and his mortal servants.
There are two types of best-selling titles: factory games like movie licenses and sports franchises, and passion projects that take a studio years and years to develop. Bethesda has been working on Elder Scrolls 4 since the turn of the century, and they've built an impressively immersive adventure that will take you several months to completely devour. But Oblivion, for better and for worse, pushes the 360 to its limits, and it shows. If you can overcome the occasional performance hiccups, you'll be rewarded with one of the most engaging and visceral role-playing games ever created.
Arena.
Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion for the Xbox 360 is the sequel to the Smash PC hit Morrowind, and continues Bethesda Softworks' tradition of incredibly open-ended and immersive gameplay.
Get moving. We can't do a thing until you get those gates open.